Welcome back to another episode of the Fearless Fictioneering League, where we write in great quantity without fear or expectation. We're here simply for the love of writing. I'm Annie Pin, but you can call me Penny if you prefer. I am not a professional writer, and I probably never will be, but I hope I can help you form a consistent writing habit built on our shared love of writing. If you're like me, you're probably wondering what the heck is happening with NaNoWriMo. A few weeks ago, I was disappointed to discover that it was unceremoniously shut down earlier this year, around April 2025. I was crushed because I have only recently rediscovered my love of writing, and I had made some tentative outlines I wanted to explore during NaNoWriMo, because I just assumed it would still exist. I always loved how participating in NaNoWriMo could make a solitary activity feel communal. It was a unique and exciting event in my experience. There was nothing else like it. And it just supercharged my creativity. I also loved how freeing and enticing the goal was. To win NaNoWriMo, all you would needed to do was, drumroll, write 50,000 words. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to turn in a finished, polished, publishable novel. You just had to show up and write. And if you were lucky, you might have also learned how to write consistently. And that is a great prize right there. So what could have possibly happened to make NaNoWriMo shut down their site? Several things, actually. I'm not going to go into any nitty-gritty details about why it was shut down, but I'll give you some bullet points. There was some grooming, unrelated to dogs. There was some infighting, mismanagement, and a very weird pro-AI agenda. So basically, some very icky things happened. Then just last week, I heard someone say, Nano is back. So I had to do a little digging. The long and short of it all is that there has been a little rebranding with a very pared back website, and it's now called NaNoWriMo 2.0. On the NaNoWriMo 2.0 website, there is a page of frequently asked questions, there are some links to resources, and there is an entire page just called Scandal. So if you want all the gossip and everything, go ahead and go over there. It goes into great detail. So with this rebranding, for all intents and purposes, NaNoWriMo is now a concept and not a community. There are no longer message boards or community events, which makes total sense if you read the Scandal page. But what does this all mean? First of all, I wouldn't really say that Nano is back. But I would say that there is still an interest out there among writers who want to carry on the original uncorrupted ideas that NaNoWriMo was founded on. So there's still interest out there. Secondly, there seem to be several NaNoWriMo alternatives popping up. Some seem legit, others feel like cash grabs basically, and still others seem to be pushing more AI on people. They can't leave AI alone, I don't know. If you find an alternative that appeals to you, make sure to do a lot of research and then let us know in the comments section if you found a good one. And then lastly, all of this confusion and disappointment, it really makes me want to start my own writing event. I would call it the 50K Wordathon, I think, and I would set it right smack dab in January, right at the beginning of the year, to give it a chance to sort of establish itself away from the withered corpse of NaNoWriMo. Let me know in the comment section if you're interested and we could do it together. Now, this is the point in the podcast where I show you a little affiliate ad because mama needs a new pair of shoes. Literally. So this episode, I want to share this little beauty with you. It's got the feel of an old typewriter with the rounded keys and that bar that mimics the paper feeder. No, I'm not sure if that's the proper term, but that's what I call it. It also has a bit of modern pizzazz, as my grandmother would say, in the form of the backlit keys. And best of all, there are several colors to choose from, so it could suit a lot of different styles. I'd also like to share this motivational candle right here. It smells like a reminder to write your books. In the comforting scent of sit down and keep writing your story, the world needs to hear it. I would say that's a very invigorating scent guaranteed to boost your word count. A big, huge, gigantic thank you for anyone who shops through these links. They'll be in the description of the video and in the pinned comment. Thank you for supporting the podcast. I appreciate you more than you could possibly know. Now, let's get to the writing prompt for today. It's a quick and simple one. So, the magic school that you've been invited to is not what you expected. That's right, you're the main character, so please write in first person. I would also assume that you're 10 or 11 years old, but that's completely up to you. Just make sure that your dialogue and inner thoughts reflect your age. Okay, so imagine you were expecting Hogwarts, but you got something completely different. For example, the rats are not pets, but they are present and abundant. Maybe the magic is a bit lackluster, or the way you perform magic is embarrassing. You could get pretty juvenile with it if you want. Maybe you were expecting Dumbledore, but you got David Copperfield instead, or vice versa. Or maybe you performed a very messy bit of magic early on in your first year, and you're having to deal with the consequences because no one can figure out how to undo it. That would be a nightmare, but possible. My worst nightmare actually would be showing up all excited to learn how to use my magic, and then finding out I didn't even have a drop of magic in me. I feel like I've actually had that nightmare. Just let your imagination run wild, and bonus points if your story has a chosen one, and it's definitely not you. Amateur Fictioneers, write for at least 30 minutes. Fearless Fictioneers, share a little detail about your magical school in the description of this video, or let me know if you'd be interested in a 50K wordathon, and then write for as long as it takes. And everybody, remember to have fun with it. Dearest Fictioneers, you've made it all the way to the end of the episode once again. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope that you have a magical writing session today, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week.